You know, we could all use some encouragement. And I've got some good news for you. Welcome to 5 Minutes with Mark. Well, greetings, friends. Welcome back to 5 Minutes with Mark. I'm out here in the woods, so if you hear birds chirping, hey, we're just sharing space. We're going to pick up the story, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 5, at verse 21. Remember, last week Jesus has been on the wrong side of the lake, dealing with the man who was possessed with a legion of demons. And then they begged him to leave, so he did. So we pick up the story right there. And when Jesus had crossed again in the boat to the other side, a great crowd gathered about him, and he was beside the sea. Then came one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name, and seeing him, he fell at his feet and implored him earnestly, saying, "My little daughter is at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, so that she may be made well and live." And he went with him, and a great crowd followed him and thronged about him. So, Jesus is back on the Jewish side of the lake. And something really interesting happens here. He gets here, and one of the leaders of the synagogue, one of the religious leaders in the community, well, his daughter is dying. And he knows that Jesus has been healing people. And so he comes and he begs him, "Please come lay your hands on my daughter." Isn't it interesting how no matter what you claim to believe, or no matter how connected you are, or no matter how powerful you are, when your child is sick, you'll do anything. When your situation is desperate, you reach out to Jesus. I think we live in a world that's like that. We live in a world of people who need help. They need only what God can give, which is a peace in the midst of trial and a hope beyond the current tribulations that we all face and endure. But in this case, we have one of the religious leaders, and I think that's kind of fascinating and interesting, that Jesus has cracked into the group that he's going to have the most problems with. It's interesting when we go back and look in the Gospel of John, chapter 3, Nicodemus, one of the Pharisees, comes to him at night saying, nobody can do what you do unless you're from God. And I believe Nicodemus is going to become a follower of Jesus after the resurrection. I believe Jairus is going to become a follower of Jesus after his daughter goes through her experience. We all are in desperate need. Every single one of us. It doesn't take much to see when you look at your own life. Even if things are going well, we're all in desperate need, spiritually, emotionally, physically. And Jesus has the answer. So we should take a lesson from Jairus. We should go fall at his feet and say, "Lord, please come. Please come into my life and make a difference." When we do that, he will. And isn't it fascinating that Jesus said, okay. He gets out of the boat, steps on land, even though there's this big crowd there. He knows this is important. And so he begins following Jairus to his home to tend to his daughter. And the crowd followed. So here's another thing. When you step out in faith, when you begin walking in obedience and faith to God, when you begin following after Jesus, people will follow. Because everybody's looking for the same answer. They're just looking for someone to lead the way. And so I encourage you today, no matter what you're facing, no matter what you're in the midst of, Jesus is your answer. And not Jesus, some idea. Jesus, the risen Christ, who is alive and well, who is there to answer your questions, who is there to touch your life, who is there to change everything for you. If you'll but fall on your knees and surrender to him. Just like Jairus, the ruler of the synagogue, did when he was all out of options, except for one. See you next time. I hope you're enjoying this Bible study, this quick devotion. If you'd like more content, you'd like to know more about me and see more of the things that I'm doing, check out my website, theeclecticmonk.com. There you'll find out about my video vlog, my podcast, and a whole lot of other stuff. Hope you'll join me there. Thanks.